हाँ भाई, पहले ये बताओ कि अभी साउंड आ रहा है कि नहीं। ओके ठीक है, साउंड आ रहा है। चलो बढ़िया, फिर अब थोड़ी देर में बंदा ज्वाइन करेगा, मेरा दोस्त, फाउंडर ऑफ ट्रेवेड। तो तब तक आप लोगों को कुछ पूछना है तो पूछ सकते हैं। ओके, साउंड इज ऑडिबल। ओके, निखिल पाटिल ज्वाइन। निखिल भाई की हालचाल। ओके, सीमा ज्वाइन, थैंक यू। ओके, वांट टू बी इन माय लाइफ, हाउ दिस वर्क्स। ओके, well, basically, I have never gone live, so I don't know how this thing particularly works, but I'll try. ओके, सब बढ़िया बढ़िया ही चाहिए भाई। वेल, हाँ मैं भी ठीक हूँ भाई। आप लोगों को थोड़ी देर वेट करा रहा हूँ क्योंकि वो एक्चुअली मीटिंग में है, इसीलिए आपको थोड़ी देर वेट करा रहा हूँ। तब तक आप किसी भी टॉपिक से रिलेटेड कोई भी डिस्कशन करना चाहते हैं तो ज्वाइन मी। विवेक बरूड़ा, हेलो ब्रो। सो दिस इज ऑल्सो वन हेल ऑफ एन एंटरप्रेन्योर। ओके, अब है ऑडिबल बिल्लू। हाँ जी ठीक है भैया। So, as far as the podcast is concerned, this is the first episode, or you can say the first tryout session, or something like that. So, there are many business models, as we all know that, and I guess the popularity that one business model has gained in the recent years, or in the last year only, is the credit, right? So their system of credit and all those things, I won't go into details because I actually don't know much about it. But it's an awesome, as much as like I have understood a little bit. I'm new to this business and entrepreneurship and all those things, right? So the thing is that I've divided this discussion into three sections. The first will go eventually like this, like the questions about how this actually got started, what is the edge, why are they doing it, how are they going to do it, and how are they taking or how are they pitching their startup to investors. And the second is about the skills they had to learn, right? Like the skills he had to learn. And then about the learnings and the failures that have come up until now. Because as far as I see, that Treeved is going to be a big thing, but slowly, eventually, but not right now. And my friend knows it too, and they're working very hard for it. So this is going to be an amazing and epic startup. So anyone, any questions? Wave, okay, wave, wave. Well, I think ठीक है। ये भड़वा आ नहीं रहा। अबे गणेश जल्दी आ बे। तो गाली नहीं दे सकते भैया, मम्मी सुन ली पीट देगी। चलो कोई बात नहीं, जीती रहो।
What's up?
Hello bro, what's up? Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having this.
Okay, आवाज ऑडिबल है?
हाँ, audible है. Good, all good.
Audible है? चमक रहे हो भैया चश्मा वश्मा लगा के।
Change कर दिए स्टाइल.
बढ़िया
पूरा
बढ़िया।
नर्ड का था बड़ा.
और
How
बाकी
was
सब
your day?
कैसे?
Going good.
So, all the people who have joined, this is Mr. Rao, co-founder of Treeved, and actually, I knew this guy would actually start a startup, but never knew actually he would kind of like he would join a startup, but I never thought he would actually co-found one. So here we are. So, bro,
Yeah.
first of all, I want to begin with this one question, like, what is the core idea behind Treeved, and that actually motivates you and inspires you to work so hard that you don't even pick up anyone's call?
Yeah, that's the. My bad. Sorry if you guys are one of those who are not.
Bro, your voice isn't audible.
It's not audible.
Just give me a
Is it
second.
clear now? There's some distance.
Yep.
Yeah. Is it clear?
हाँ आप सुन रही है भाई बोल.
Great. Okay. So the core idea behind Treeved is that there is Facebook, there is Twitter, there is Instagram.
Yes.
Whatever you share. But those are not the only things that you share. Those are not the really things that you look in the internet.
Right.
Most of the things are memes, उसके बारे में, इसके बारे में, things about that, वो ये, things that really don't matter in the long run. Those kind of things. Right. So now, there is really not a platform which supports or encourages users to share what they're interested in. Like suppose if you're interested in dance video, you know some cool dance. There is no platform to share. Watch this dance video is so cool. You watch that. Right.
Okay.
Platform there you might say कि Instagram story पे डाल देते हैं,
Right.
WhatsApp story पे डाल देते हैं, link डाल
Definitely, definitely. And it's an utter waste of time, right? All these stories and everything.
Yeah. So now it
Like
is.
until one point in life you realize that it's very nice to share memes and all, right? And then suddenly boom, like we're not learning anything on these apps, but those people, those who have made this app, are actually earning a ton amount of money through them.
Exactly. Now, see, they are trying to keep you locked in that cycle where you are only restricted to the content that you learn. Suppose Instagram is heavily optimized to show you content that you view. Right? That is a good thing, that is a bad thing. Right? So now, how can you come out of it? When you share resources from other platforms, where you share resources, what you see, because you are so much more than what you learn from schools. Right? And there is no platform to share all these things. That is the core idea of it. And on top of that, you can also share movies and all that. Yeah. You're showing your personality. On Treeved, you'd show your personality. You won't be afraid that people will judge you for being who you are. Whatever you like and share links from the internet, because that is where you learn all the things.
Yes, even I joined the first actually I was waiting for app, as I told you, right, that it will come soon. or later. You told by September end, right?
Yeah.
And then this thing struck me a lot that there are more options than Facebook and Instagram would ever give you. Facebook
Hmm.
and Instagram kind of like give only the options to share your posts, stories,
Yeah.
update status, like what the hell you are doing or whatever the fuck you
Yes.
have been up to. But you have given the
Yeah.
option like creating lists,
Hmm.
which I find very intriguing. Like, how did you come up with those ideas? Like, what was your
Now,
thought?
see, yeah, you suppose you go around, you're interested in a topic, you suddenly decide that you want to learn, you want to get to know this. Now, what is the first thing that you do? You go in the on the internet and search to find things. I want to learn this. Suppose I know programming, I'll say I want to learn program. Now, what is the first thing? You go on the internet, search that I want to learn programming or programming Python, whatever, right? You get resources, you scroll through them, and you find really good after spending a day or something, right? Really few good days. And now, current stage, you find the links or you find the resources, learn from them, and boom, that's there, gone. If you want to refer back, you'd have to go kya search kiya tha, and then you have to stumble back on it again. Now, what if you record them, store them as a list on a platform? Now, if anybody comes and asks ki, how did you learn this, I can quickly say, go to my profile, have that there's a list, check it out, everything is there, step by step, whatever I've learned, because that is, remember, internet is full of information, lot of things.
True,
Even
true.
if you want to learn for an introduction of some chapter, there are a lot of videos. Now you have to select few good ones out of them which can help you. Going head first and searching will take time. Now I can just quickly go to your profile, bhai ye tune sikha tha, just give me the links and I'll learn, right? So that was the idea behind the links, of grouping all the related links together in a list, and you can share them quickly with others.
And going beyond the lists and all the amazing features that you offer on Treeved, what is your current business model and how you are planning to scale it?
Yeah, so current business model, I'd say we would first focus on acquiring the users, give them the habit of sharing what they learn, what they're interested in. Just give me a minute.
Well, I think for some certain reason he's on top line. There is, I guess, connection problem or something like that. Well, so here we were discussing about the Treeved and the amazing analogy and the amazing things that he explained, that why this particular thing that he have created.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
yeah.
So we were on the business
Scaling.
idea.
Scaling, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So now they'll start to share the interest. Now you've found some really good links of a really tough subject. You've looked hard enough and you found those gems. Now, how can you? It is, you might want to give them freely. You might not want to give them freely. Like you might want to ask 10 rupees, 100 rupees, even a small amount, whatever, depending on the quality of the links. You can monetize on your time spent of finding that link. You can make a list of all those links and you can put it out. This has everything. This has notes that I've made for the links, right? You have your thoughts, everything is there. Give whatever the amount is specified, and then you get the link. Self learning, right? Now this would be like an open course where you can learn from anybody.
Anybody,
It would
right, right.
change education in a completely new way. Like there would not be a single dedicated institution which will be monitoring the courses, because that you won't learn. Even if you take a course, you'd probably refer 100 10 videos, 10 or more videos to learn that subject, right?
Okay,
So
okay, okay, okay.
there is always a chance of deviating. Now, instead of spending 3.5 to 4K or whatever amount on a course, you can select the users or select people that you already know, right? That you already know who are good at this, and you can take their content directly, if it is free or if it is. And one more thing, now you know the content, you have learned resources, you have made structured resources in list. Now you don't want to share it with others in mass. The feature is not there, but the same way we are doing now, having the conference, users will come and have an audience and share what they've learned. Online
Okay.
classes anybody can take, and for that entry fee and all that normal tickets, that stuff will be there. So yeah,
Okay.
so it is in a broad way decent open education environment where anybody can learn any from
Anything. So
anything.
basically, so basically, you have created something which gives value in terms of learning, right?
Yeah.
And you are in such a competitive stream, software, right?
Hmm.
And it's a cutthroat competition for you guys.
Hmm.
So, what is the particular one thing or specific things that is going to give you competitive advantage or a competitive edge uh, in upcoming years?
Yeah. So the competitive edge that we will have is no company right now is focused on their users. Everybody is focusing on how I can study this person or spy this person and make money. Instagram is
Right,
more like a shopping mall than a place where you share your photos. Like you
right,
have
right,
posts where you play card things. It is changing into an online shopping mall. Like what is happening now? They are making you buy things which are not really required for you. Spending they're rewiring your brain to thinking that getting these things are what will make me good or whatever, right?
yeah,
They're
kind of like self-worth. They're playing with the
so,
self-worth of people,
yes, yes,
right?
yes, yes. In a very I would say it is more, it is some way, right? They are reproving ki if I have that shoes, if I have that something, I'd be well off, I'd be good, I'll look good. Something consciously, and they are reprogramming many lot of these. You see that it is a reality, right? So now what we are doing is all the products, everything shopping, that is not necessary. What you show to the people, or even if you don't share your photo, you are so much more than what you look like.
Right.
It
True.
is in your brain,
100%.
right? And no platform is allowing that to share,
Yeah.
right? So
मतलब maximum platforms कैसा चल रहा है?
you could say YouTube is allowing you to share it as a free video, you can come and share videos, but how many of the people actually go to YouTube and create content like what they share,
No, no, no. Not a lot of people.
not a lot of
Uh,
people, right?
बहुत
Now
लोग तो
with Treeved,
स्टिग्मा से डर जाते हैं. बहुत लोग
हाँ,
स्टिग्मा से डर जाते हैं. सोचते हैं अरे कैमरा के सामने
exactly,
कैसे आएंगे, राइट? और
exactly.
उसके ऊपर से all these apps that Americans have created,
Hmm.
उनका एक ही मोटो लगता है मुझे कि जो दिखता है वो बिकता है.
Hmm.
And there is one thing that I liked about Treeved is that you don't have to even show yourself. You just have to
Yes,
show what you can do.
exactly, exactly.
But
Mm,
on Instagram, it's completely opposite. If you are a hot model or something, you will have followers. And if you're a creative person, you won't have followers.
mm,
Like, for example, mini me.
no, no. See,
Just
Instagram,
kidding.
it is a good. See, every platform has a good side and a bad side, right?
Yeah, true, true
Instagram
that.
is also used by a lot of good creators to share content, to spread knowledge and all that. But what is the majority of the things, right? How, what is the normal people apart from the content creators? How are the normal people getting influenced by those content creators? Like, even the content creators nowadays are tied up with this branding content and show ki if you take this thing, then you're cool. Even that has
Sponsorships.
become even that has come to that. It is not about sharing knowledge. It is about reprogramming you to buy stuff meaninglessly and this. Right? So now Treeved will remove all that and just share knowledge. Share what you know. Share what you're interested in. If I learn, if I like something about you that you know this, I can go on your profile and check what it is. Completely about transforming yourself. Right?
Kind
Not
of
being
like
afraid to share what you know.
kind of like the first app, like or the first thing ever, which would actually monetize knowledge over looks or
Yes,
anything that's more,
yes,
ridiculously good looking.
yes, yes.
Okay, so
You'd be
moving
judged by
ahead.
what you know rather than what you look like.
Yeah,
Now, if you say, ki, what are you? What is your educational qualification? What do you know? Now, you'd say, I'm this class, I have this much, this. That is the only thing. But there is so much more to it. There is so much more to you than your marks card. What is? How can you show that? If you open your Instagram profile, you'll probably see memes coming up in your cell. Right? So that is not what
no,
you are. There is a lot more things on the internet that you consume. there is no place to show that. There is no place to show all that stuff. Treeved will be a place. Go on Treeved. That is how what I am. That is how who I am on the internet. That is what the data I consume. Because you are the data you consume.
True. But in this age of information, we are particularly drowning in information, and we are thirsty for wisdom.
Mm.
And as far as information goes, this is kind of like the first time it's happening that we are monetizing on it without using Google and all the stuff that Americans have built.
Mm.
In a way, you
Yeah,
can say that, right?
traditional monetizing ways include tell users that it is free. We are giving it for free. भाई सर कुछ नहीं है. Use it, just use it. But in the background, a lot of things are happening and studying the behavior, spying on it. Is like somebody is always looking at you and showing you the content by studying your hormone, what is going on in your deep
Psychology,
psychology.
sales psychology.
What
Okay.
triggers your dopamine? Right. So based on that, you get short content. That is a good thing and a bad thing again, depending on your behavior. But if it is a good thing, you'll get consumed in the good thing. You'll stay good. But if it is a bad thing, you'll stay there. That is because that is how the recommendation engine functions. Based on it doesn't show you outside of what you already know. It is just hardwired to continuously improve on what you already know. Because if you are this kind of person, based on your searches, you only get this. Right? It is very hard to come out of that search. Now, this you'll be able to freely share. There is no need of spying on others because users would be willingly telling, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in this. Right? And
Yeah.
your friends would be, there is a probability of getting a mixture where your followers would be sharing something that you're not aware of, something new.
Ganesh, right now, one of my friends, Dayanand, he asked a very intriguing question that is it same as sharing our activity history?
Yes, very much alike. You'd say it is like your browsing history, but it is open. You decide what you want to show. Not always browsing history most of the time is embarrassing, I guess, most for most. But this would be something you'd be proud of, right?
Well,
You'd be
history is
proud to
never made
share.
by the people who use incognito browsers, right?
Yeah. So now,
Okay.
activity
Uh,
history would be something you'd be proud of. Yeah.
so, as you're moving along, what is the vision that you see for yourself in the upcoming 3 to 5 years, bro? Like in 3 to 5 years, what do you see Treeved as?
So, yeah. So now it is. I feel that Treeved is needed in the current because of the how education is viewed, right? Online in the age of internet, how it is being centralized, controlled by single entities, and doing this. This is the only way to do, and if you don't do this, then you're no use. I don't want to take names, but yeah, that is how it is going on now. So Treeved will completely remove that stigma and encourage kids to be expressed. Imagine how the kids down to the lower level would start learning, would start seeing the world if they were only able to express what they like. Because till now they have been only suppressed. कि इतना है, इतना करो, इतना ही है.
इतना ही रहो, right, right.
If you
अभी
do this, the marks card, that is all. But that is not the reality. There is so much more than what you learn from the schools. Okay. So
like
this
अभी
is
before मतलब लाइव आने से पहले मैंने एक वीडियो देखा था. You know that guy, right? रणवीर अलाहाबादिया, beer biceps, right?
yeah, right,
So
yes.
his new video was about how to become a billionaire and all that sort. And the one thing that I found most intriguing about that particular thing, that particular video was कि like हम Indians, हम इतना deep rooted हैं westerns के लिए, like they kind of made us into slaves, and we still carry on the slave mentality till now, like we are not good enough.
See, now, how did that happen? This is a very long discussion. I think we can go a long time, but how did this happen? See, we have been stripped out, especially Indians, we have been stripped out of the identity. Now, Westerners have been made us thinking this that whatever they do is cool. Right?
True.
Whatever they do is the thing to do. If you don't do
Right, right.
this, then you're nothing. You're not civilized. You're not civilized. If
Well,
we do, but down to the reality of removing what they export out of their countries. If you go deep down and see, reality is harsh. If you are an Indian, if you go there, it is a hard thing not to get shot, I would say. Right? If you cannot really upfront say if something is going on wrong with you, if experience racism or some kind of sort like that, you cannot say upfront because you never know who will shoot you. Guns are legal. Right? So
True, true.
reality down at the level is very bad there. But what they export and what they show, this is the one, this is the trend, this is how you should be. If you don't do this, you're nothing. Right. So life is more than that. So first thing is we have been stripped out. Indians mostly. Any other country, you take any random citizen of any other country, you'll see that they have this identity of what had happened in the country, what is the reason for where they are now. Everybody from citizens of any country would know that. Right? What is the state of why am I like this? Because right now, because of the history of whatever has happened. Right?
True.
Now we have been manipulated, distorted. We have a distorted history of what had happened. We have not been shown that when you have not been shown the truth, you have no identity. When you have no identity, you try to go and look an identity for somewhere else. In the case Westerners. Right. So the first thing that British, when we are colonized, was they stripped out of our identity.
Identity, right? Because identity makes us very powerful. Like one of the greatest example of identity was Maharaja Chhatrapati Shivaji,
Yeah. No, we
right?
could go
Because
on that out. Yeah.
yeah, because his identity was so strong that they couldn't shake his belief and his faith, whatever that was going on. So, moving ahead, like another person have asked very interesting question, like what did you plan for data storing and server management for the content of your website?
Data storing and content server. Yeah, I can say that. You could use Postgres database. It is free. It is scalable. It is easy to use. So you can use that. And content storage for serving static files and all that. You can use AWS S3 bucket. You can look on the internet.
Okay,
Postgres is good starting point for database storage.
okay. So Ganesh, as far as your startup goes, I just want to know what's the end goal with your startup, bro? Like, अंत क्या है
So
इसका? मतलब
end goal would be to transform education. Whatever, if somebody says ki what you know, what you are, kya hai tumhara, what you do, they should say, look at my Treeved profile, that is who I am. No pictures, no nothing.
okay.
Look at my Treeved profile, this is what I am. This, like all my interests, everything I know, whatever I do on the internet, my likes are, movies, books, TV shows, random articles from the internet, random videos from YouTube, everything is there. You just go profile, see list, check folders, and it is there. Right? I want to see what your favorite movies are. I go to your Treeved profile and see what are your favorite movie list, and I can just see TV
But
show.
you know, like a person cannot be the amalgamation of the things that they say on social media, right now. And
Yeah. See, faking personality on social media, that is there. Right? You can make a fake account and see random movie dalke, even if you not watch, you can say I'm not watch. That is there. Those kind of users
angel
are always
India.
there. But there are also users who actually use the platform for what it is, what it represents. Those are the kind of users we are targeting.
Okay. So, as you have co-founded this startup, what were the skills that you kind of like must learn and that you needed to learn to come to that level actually?
See, I'm mostly working on the technical side as of now. I was approached as a co-founder because of my technical skills. And there are a lot of things that goes on when you decide to start a startup apart from the technical skills. But technical would be a good starting point because you'd be able to materialize your thoughts, your ideas into reality, right? You can build those with the skills. Otherwise, if you just have this thing, you'd have to look for somebody who can build it. So technical skills is a good plus point, but it's not really required. If you have the drive and the idea, you can get a good team together and build on the idea.
So, kind of like on a more personal note, how is the relationship between you and the other founders of this major thing that you're calling as Treeved?
It is good. There are again as founders, it is like a marriage, like starting a company together with people is like a marriage. There will be ups and downs, there will be disagreements, there will be these things, but again the vision is same, right? What the main core motive of why it had started, is the same. So we stick on to that. We believe in that. So it's taking us forward. It's good.
Okay. And as you have divided the tasks, like you handle the technicality, who handles the marketing and sales? Or you don't do
Market.
marketing at all?
No, we get, see, as co-founders, we need to get involved, like all three of us. We need to get involved in all the activities that goes on. But we also have dedicated team who handles, on the high level. We just keep in touch and tell what to do. But yeah, most of the things have been handled by dedicated.
And the biggest lesson you have learned so far in your
Biggest
journey?
lesson, yeah. So there might be a lot of things that goes on as not planned, but in the long run, you have to see when you set out to do something, when you set out, uh, when you, yeah, when you set out to do something, if it is easy, just go and get it. There is no worth in getting it. You don't feel like you've got it when you just सोच दिया आ गया, you don't get that worth, right? But when the difficulties are there, when things go wrong, when you learn from them and still decide to keep going, that is what makes you, even if you don't reach the goal where you wanted to go, the experiences will still stay with you, right? If you decide to go somewhere else, you've already come this far. It does not, already covered that land. So the main important thing to do is deciding to cover that land wherever, however far you can go, you can go.
Okay. And your most rewarding experience up until now, that kind of like has become a golden memory for you.
I'm very bad at memories. I think you know that. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
I'm
feel, but yeah, I feel every day is good. Yeah, there is something to look forward to in every day. So yeah, just keep going. That's all.
I hope she
No
doesn't
good
hear
memories.
that.
Everything happens for a reason, and just
Okay.
keep moving forward. No good memories. Memories happen. There'll always be good memories and bad memories. No point in sticking to one thing and saying that this is the only thing that. But
Right.
yeah, every day is a good day. Past builds your experiences. To look into the future, you have to focus on the present. So
Definitely.
every day.
And you know, definitely you would have a lot of you would have faced a lot of failures in the
Mhm.
like kind of start. And what are those failures or the apparent failure that actually drives you to make
Mhm.
it a more visible thing?
So failures are there. See, since beginning, I don't know, fortunately, unfortunately, since beginning, I've been brainwashed myself into thinking there is no such thing as failures. You just go on. Everything happens for a reason. When you
Okay.
look at things that everything happens for a reason, you don't see that this is a failure, this is a win. You don't feel those kind of things, right? You just keep going. You just keep going. So yeah, failures were there. I would call them setbacks, not things not happening the way we thought would happen, right? So the best way to move forward from there is to make a better plan, keep moving forward, not consider them as
Uh,
failures.
but bro, like there is a breaking point of every human being. Like there is a point, nothing goes your way. You are like, I'll go to nothing, or I'll go to no way, basically.
Mm.
Uh, this kind of mentality where you have a kind of brainwash yourself that everything happens for a reason.
Mm.
It also has a breaking point. Don't you think that?
Mm-hmm.
For you, not, huh?
No,
Okay.
it wouldn't be, because see, when you, till now I had had that belief, and till now things have worked out well, because if you focus on the present, not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, if you just focus on the present and doing the right thing now, external factors you cannot control them. They're there, they're always there. It is out of your hand. But if you just focus on your present of doing what you're doing now correctly to your best of knowledge, learning is constant, it is there parallelly, it will be taken care. You won't break out thinking that everything happens for a reason, because you would know that you are learning constantly. You'll realize that failures are there. This is a part of the process. So you know
Okay.
you won't.
And like you are young, like, and you can actually not you can, you are actually inspiring people to become entrepreneurs and kind of living that, job mentality in a way, like you are going to provide jobs anyhow, sooner or later. What are the tips or the things that you will tell to avoid someone while starting a startup?
Hmm. There is no such thing as avoiding. If you want to start a startup, just start it. List out the starting points. Just start it. See, even before one thing I'd say, even before Treeved, the founders of Treeved approached me to join them as co-founders, uh, I had worked on a similar project because similar project in the sense because this stemmed out of my experience of wanting to share more than pictures and all that stuff, right? So just do it. It doesn't matter if somebody is looking at you, if it is a solid startup intention or something like that, just start it. Right? Startup is something that you see a problem, you see a need to have a product, and you just go on to solving it. The scaling part of it comes at a later stage. Just build something for your own, build something for your own use. There will always be people who require the same need. They will have the same need. Just filling the spot, finding the need and filling the spot.
Okay.
Just build for yourself. Think about what you need, what is there.
Okay. So that's it, I guess. Like, well, before going, I would like you to kind of answer one or two questions
Hmm.
that other people have asked. Like, this one guy who is particularly interested in your startup, maybe he's going to become your investor. In which programming language did you code for your website?
Okay, in Python, because that is what I've been working with, and that is what fortunately the code base was. So backend is in full Python. It's full stack as well. Django framework with Python as the language.
Okay. And like there's one book on Warren Buffett known as Snowball.
Hmm.
And I read that book, and in a way, like how to explain it, जब किसी बर्फीले पहाड़ के ऊपर से कोई पत्थर गिरता है छोटा सा,
Hmm.
तो धीरे धीरे जाके बड़ा हो जाता है. Like when it
Hmm.
comes down, it
Hmm.
eventually kind of पूरी जो बर्फ होती है उस पर लग जाती
Builds
है और
up.
वो नीचे आना शुरू कर देता है, राइट. और लाइक वो बहुत बड़ा हो जाता है. तो बेसिकली एंड एट द सेम टाइम देयर आर स्टार्टअप्स लाइक the great minds like Peter Thiel, who aren't like as rich as Warren Buffett, but they definitely have like the innovation, God level innovation. They say that कि आप अपना 10 years का प्लान लो, जो भी होता है, वो
Hmm.
सोचो कि आप 8 महीने में कैसे कर सकते हो.
Hmm.
आप उसमें जरूरी नहीं है सक्सेसफुल होगे, फेल जरूर होगे, बट यू विल बी फार अहेड ऑफ द गाय हु
Hmm.
एक्चुअली थॉट इट टेक 10 years.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, how do you like? What are your views on these two contrasting behaviors? Like, whereas one guy who is actually a legend, he says that slow and steady,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
there is one guy who is the modern day legend. He says that fast and steady. How
See,
do you
now,
correlate these two?
yeah, good question actually. Now the thing is, you have to realize it is not one thing or the other. You cannot tell them, "I'll only do this, I'll only do that," right? So you have to be decisive enough to choose which goes best at what time. There are some things which you cannot really rush at any cost. There are some things which you can take the risk of rushing. You could afford it to rush, and not I would not say rush, but yeah, you could afford it to reduce the timeline and achieve that, right? So, for example, setting the foundation, it requires time, so you have to take it slow. You cannot rush it, and then after that is done, you could experiment with things. You could go on. That stage will always come, but initially, yeah, depends on the situation. You'd have to be, you know, decisive
Flexible.
enough to choose, yeah, flexible enough to choose what goes best. You cannot really say, because if I say that foundation is necessary, then people might go. If I want to start a startup, then I have to have a solid foundation. I have to have everything planned. No, you just
Right.
start with something, right? When you have something and when you have an MVP ready and when you're going to scale, then you have a solid foundation, because you cannot have more users without a foundation, right? And you cannot have a foundation without having the model first, and you cannot have the model without uh, rushing,
Okay.
without
So,
reducing your timelines.
no, no, man. Actually, thanks a lot, bro, for sharing your wisdom and everything. And now, before I wind up, I would like you to say some kind of legendary quote. Actually, I got this from the TRS, so I thought I might do it as well. Well, I know you write a lot of quotes. It's kind of an opportunity for you to say one out loud.
And I'm not really thought about one, but yeah, just
फंस गए भैया पकड़ लिया आपको हम
okay. So you know me, since you know me, in every phase of my life, I have these kind of words that I believe in. Right? You know, in my car, I used to believe in the word believe, like always believe that, you know, and then it was like, don't give up. Whatever you're doing, just don't give up. Now it is keep moving forward. Whatever happens is keep moving forward. Right? Code, depending on your thing, is the same. What if you have to believe in something, then you believe that will happen and do whatever things required. Right? If you're already believed, if you're doing it, then don't give up doing it. Right? If you're already doing it, you've not given up, then keep moving forward.
Okay, man. So thanks a lot, bro, for coming in this kind of like a live podcast or whatever we can call it with zero followers anyhow, and with some chump who comes and who keep coming and going and I think we have
That was
bored
nice.
them a lot, man. But I enjoyed it a lot, man. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you. It was nice talking. Thanks for having me, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Peace out. Peace out.
Okay, bro. So as you can see, we had one of my friends and a very intelligent guy, kind of like a genius, although he's humble enough not to admit it. So there was this. I actually took some questions from curious people who had joined the live, and anyhow, thanks for coming. There weren't many people, but I'm actually very grateful for all of those who have joined. And I hope you got something important from this because, as far as I see it, I got to learn a lot. I'm actually interested in starting my own business, maybe not in the technical area because I don't know a fuck about technical things. And I I'm kind of into e-commerce and all those other stuff, stock market trading, etc. And I'm learning, and hopefully I'll also build a good career so as to one day I'll get invited on some podcast. Yeah, motherfuckers, peace out, bro. Thanks a lot again. Okay, Dan, thank you so much.